think it's time to show you how modern science has helped me find cards. I know that sounds kind of thrilling, and well, we'll see what happens. I do need to have a card selected, so if you would just touch any one of those. Pull it out, remember the card, show it to all these nice people. Excellent. And just pop it right back in. Perfect. Somewhere in the deck is your card. Now, there's no possible way any of us could know. Well, you could, but not me. So I'm going to do the following. I'll spread these cards out. That looks pretty good, about like that. And if you would, just put your hand right out here onto the table. The palm up, that's perfect. That way I can check your pulse. Oh, good, you have a pulse. Excellent. That's good. Had me worried for a minute. Now, as I move my hand across the cards, I find that yeah, it's weird. The pulse seems to quicken right about here. I do get the impression your card is in this group. Let me just separate a few cards off in here. In fact, as I narrow it down, yes, it's getting a little bit faster right there. You see, you can't lie. It's just like a lie detector almost. It seems strongest right there. Your pulse quickens. Jack of Spades, that was your card? Yep. I thought so. Let's do another pick a card trick. In this case, how we find the selected card is through the pulse on the wrist of our audience member. This is a key card mystery, of course. The card on the face of the deck is the key card that we will use to identify whatever the selected card is. I'll show you another method here of identifying the key card. The cards are at random order. They can even be shuffled by a spectator. Your audience now selects a card. Now that the audience has selected a card, you ask them to look at it and make sure they do not let you see the card. While they have that card, you start placing small packs onto the table. As you do this, you stop at some point and say, why don't you drop your card into the pack? As you grab this pack, you just gesture. Right about there would be nice. At this steep angle that I look down as I use this as a pointer, I can catch a glimpse of the face card of this pack. You can also hold the cards from above and say, why don't you place your card there on the pack? That gives me a glimpse of my key card. This card is now returned to the pack. I pop those cards on top, and the key card is right next to their selected card. Now they have remembered their card, and now you are going to divine the selection. Here's how you go about it. Remember, in the pack, of course, where my 8 of spades is, the card just to the right of it, the card on top of here is the selected card, in this case the 9 of diamonds. So now what I do is I ribbon spread the cards from my right to the left across the table. Make sure you spread the cards well enough so, of course, you can see the key card. Now I would then take my spectator by the wrist, and I'm going to hold my fingers against their pulse, apparently. And now as I move their hand across the cards like this, I tell them I am going to, by just feeling the pulse, whenever it gets near their card, their pulse will slightly increase. You now can tell them it seems to be increasing right about here. Of course, you're doing this above where the key card is. I can now narrow it down, and I would separate the cards, getting rid of some of these. I can now enhance the presentation by dragging it out just a little bit longer. I can say, yes, the pulse seems to increase right about the center here, and ultimately, of course, you come to stop right on their selected card. So you have apparently found their card just by the variation in the pulse. It's not a magical effect, but it is very magical in nature that somehow you could tell by their pulse where the selected card was.